Hello and welcome back to the channel. I can't quite believe it, but it's now only 3 days until I toe the line at the Yao Yai Ultra Trail race in the jungles on the island of Yao Yai, which is what this whole training block has been building up to. So thank you so much to everyone who's commented, liked and subscribed. It makes a big difference. So if you haven't already, please do subscribe. It really helps with making these videos and with motivation ahead of the race. In today's video, I'm going to talk about two key things. Firstly, my race strategy for the 55 kilometers. It's going to be a little bit different to normal because it's a 10:30 p.m. start, so we're racing through the night. So I'm trying to take that into consideration. And the key thing, key part of this video is going to be about getting my mind in the right mindset for a tough effort through the night, because it's going to be a particularly challenging ultra. So for me, the mental preparation ahead of a big challenge like an ultra, FKT or Everesting, the mental preparation is at least as important as the physical. Obviously, we can't do these things if we've not physically trained for it, but we can't do them and enjoy them and be successful in them if our mental game is not at least on par with our physical. In fact, I know for a fact that when it came down to Everesting, my mental game was stronger than my physical. All right, so first up is expectations. Now, when I started off this training vlog, my expectation on myself and this race was clear. I was going there to race hard and to challenge for the win and to be on the podium and to follow the race leaders and see what happened if I put myself through that effort. But it dawned on me reasonably early in the training plan, and then after cracking my head open as well, that was going to become unrealistic, potentially a suicidal kind of pace to try and follow. So I've had to adjust my training, my mentality and approach here, in that I haven't trained legitimately well enough to be competitive over 58 kilometers. So if I go with the leaders at the start, I'm going to put myself in difficulty. I need to run my own race and run steadily. I think I can end up with a strong finish if I pull through. But I don't want to start pushing until I'm at least 30, 35, 40 kilometers in and still feeling good at that point. So my expectations are to go out and enjoy myself, to run into the sunrise feeling strong and to appreciate the moments that I'm there rather than to go out and race. I want to come home with a finisher's medal and some good memories, and I want to have made the time to film a little bit and to have learned some more about race nutrition and experience I can take on to next time. There will be another time to go out and try and be competitive, but with the training I've had, that can't be what I'm looking at this time, which is a shame. So my second strategy is my why, and this is what's going to get me through the night when it gets tough. But actually it was quite hard to work out for this race. Previous times when I was doing Everesting, my why, well, I wanted to become the first person in Thailand to complete a run Everesting, which meant I couldn't think, I'll come back another day and go again. UTMB Thailand was my first ultra. I wanted to race hard and finish as strongly as I could. But here, particularly because my mindset is a bit less of a race and more of going for an experience, the why becomes a little bit more diffuse and a little harder to pin down, but that's okay. I can actually just work on it through the night. Where I am at the moment with it is that I want to go out and have these amazing experiences and go and put myself through something difficult, doing the things I love, and to learn about myself and how I cope with these things as I go along. So both mentally, but also physically, I can look more at my nutrition and pacing, planning side of things. But my main aim is that I want to go out and have these experiences, and I want to keep myself in the mindset of enjoying them throughout. So the why is because I want to go out and do hard and exciting and adventurous things, and I want to enjoy them at the same time. Don't know how that's going to motivate me through the night. So there's something there to keep working on over the next 3 days. And obviously I'll have some time during the race as well to keep thinking about these things. But I know a big one is that I want to finish, what will be my second official ultra. So at the moment I have a record of 1 finished and 1 DNF. And I'd definitely like to improve that into 2 finishes and 1 DNF from my time here in Thailand. So maybe that one will be enough to keep me moving forward. I guess we will see soon enough. So my third strategy is visualization. And by this, there's, I guess, 2 sides to it. One is my race planning, which I'll talk about afterwards. So thinking about and visualizing what's going to happen at each chunk or section of the race, which is also my potential 4th strategy, which is around chunking the race into different sections, which I think we will pretty much do anyway. But it's a very nice way to mentally break down these longer races into smaller sections. And here we've got 6 checkpoints, so I'll be moving between those with an hour to an hour and 20 between each one, which is quite a nice small piece of time. But by visualization, I actually mean more than that. So I'm running through things that will definitely happen or might happen in the race and just exploring what will happen. So when they do in the race, it either goes more smoothly, and that's things like how I'm going to approach the aid stations. So rather than just running to the aid station and then when I'm there trying to think about what I'm doing, I pre-thought through. So I did this as I went through UTMB, starting to learn, but I arrived at the aid stations having made sure I drained my bottles just beforehand, so they were as empty as they could be, with the lids off at least the first one, and I knew what I was looking for, whether I was looking for a food or I was going to have one of my gels or dates or pancakes or whatever it may be. In this race, I'm going to try and not take any gels, so we're doing pancakes for the first 2 aid stations, and dates, and ending up with some tailwind is the strategy. We'll see how that goes on race day, but I wanted to try and use less plastic from the gels than I have previously, and previously finishing these long runs and holding a big hand of plastic wrappers doesn't feel great. So let's see how it goes without that. But the visualization is also things that go wrong. For example, one thing that is on my mind is what happens if I miss a turning here and end up down the wrong path. I've got the map on my Cento, so all I need to do is use the map to come back to wherever I was and carry on, and that's okay. So I think that would just having not just taught myself through that, but tried to imagine it a bit more. Hopefully, if it does happen, I will waste less energy being angry and stressed with myself because I've already been through it and it doesn't feel like the first time. So I think those strategies are quite useful. I know that my approach will be when I see a group of 3 or 4 faster runners heading off and I want to follow them, but I don't. So I know what I'm going to do there. My strategy in that case is simply to get my camera out and start to record some of my thoughts and distract myself from that. And bonus of getting a little bit of footage. One phase that I am struggling with is how to film properly at night without too much lighting and faff. So that's going to be an issue. I'm not going to get the footage I want, but I will make sure I get some. And one way around that's to try and use the aid stations to record a few thoughts just for a minute or 2 before I head off at each point, assuming there'll be a bit better lighting there. So I'm constantly doing this over the course of the week. It's great preparation. Some people I think might find that a little bit stressful, running through all the things that could go right and go wrong. But for me, it means I know that my mind is prepared and ready. Okay, so the next stage is to talk about my race strategy. In simple terms, is to go out slowly, to chunk the race according to the aid stations, to drink a bottle of water or more between each one. And for the first 3, I'll be eating real food. I'm going to be making oat pancakes before and taking those.
and then to shift on to dates, probably some form of caffeine gel, which is one detail left to sort out, before moving on for the last 2 aid stations to Tailwind. I know that I struggled with real food and keeping my calories up at UTMB, so this is something I am trialing out. And then you can see here that I have added in some details around what I'm going to do. So I'll print this sheet and it reminds me what to do in the aid stations, which will probably be a nice mental boost as well, that I'm keeping on track, at least with my nutrition. I'm not concerned on keeping on track with pace. So I've given 1 hour 20 minutes for the first short section. I mean, there are 2 hills, but I don't know how hard the trails will be. I understand they're steep, they're slippery, they're not easily runnable at all, and it's going to be at night. So pacing is really hard to predict, which is part of the fun of the ultra distance and part of the adventure of this race. So I'll be really interested to see if I come in anywhere near my 8 a.m. finish time, which will be 9.5 hours. It could be faster, it could be slower, I don't know, but I'm hoping it'll be somewhere around that. But my mindset is that it doesn't matter. If I'm ahead of it, great, but just double check I'm not pushing too hard. And if I'm behind, then that's absolutely fine. As I said earlier, my aim here is to go out and enjoy it and to have a great experience. My prediction has me at sunrise in the valley before the final hill, which is a shame. If I'm feeling anything like strong enough to push on and get to the top of that hill for sunrise, I'd love to do that. But it's time to go and see what happens now. And it'll be really interesting to look back at this plan afterwards and see where I ended up. I will try and keep a note of the time I arrived at each aid station, just so that I can see how it was going later on. But yeah, let's find out. I think we're all set, ready to go.
Okay, that's it. The end of the training. The body's as ready as it is going to be. The mind is ready, and I can't wait now to get out this weekend and go and have a great race. And I also can't wait to share it with you in the next video. So if you haven't already, please make sure that you hit the subscribe button, like the video as well, please, so that you don't miss the next episode, which is going to be the race report, and we will see how much filming I can get done at night, whether I hit my pacing plan and it goes how I expect the race to do, and the sunrise after the night over out of the jungle over the sea. We'll see what happens. See you next time.